It's time for some straight talk. The big wireless companies charge a boatload for their superior network coverage. But guess what? Straight Talk uses the same cell towers, but you pay half the cost. Who knew? Well, now you do. And I do. So let's do something. It's time to switch to Straight Talk. Unlimited plans start at just $45 a month on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Don Batard.
There is nothing that I could say about anything that you, the culture around sports radio, will not find a way to argue with.
Stugotz.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I'm sure you can find something that I won't argue about. Stop being so stupid. Yeah. Short-sighted.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Customers who switch to Progressive save an average of $500. Call or click today and find out if they could save you hundreds on your car insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. With their 119-108 win versus the L.A. Lakers, the Washington Wizards have clinched the Southeast Division. That ends the longest division title drought in NBA history at 37 years. It also ends the longest active division title drought in the four major pro sports. The United States women's national hockey team and USA Hockey have agreed to a new contract to avert the players' boycott of the IIHF World Championship that begins on Friday. The deal addresses compensation and the treatment of its girls' and women's programs. And finally, for the first time in Crayola's 100-year history, the company is retiring a color from its 24-count box. Except Crayola isn't saying yet which crayon is getting kicked out, saving the announcement for Friday morning. More on this story as it develops. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
So are they going to 23 crayons, or are they going to go to 24 crayons, remove a color, and add another color?
More on this story as it develops.
Okay, very good. I'm sorry to have asked a follow-up question there. Go ahead and look at those colors for me, please, and tell me which one is the one that's got to go. If one has to go, I am going to debut a new segment here, brand new, very exciting. We don't do very much of this. We're not very organized. This is a segment, groundbreaking, pioneering throughout radio, called Sounds. We're just going to play sounds. Here is the sound of B. Brian Blair catching the Iron Sheik smoking crack on an airplane.
God, I got so many Sheik stories I could just get you guys laughing and crying at the same time.
Please, don't give us some. Come on.
The Iron Sheik story, I'll tell you what. One time we were going to Australia in 1986. And the Sheik and the guy that he was with, I won't say his name for the sake of his family. He's deceased now. They were next to Jumpin' Jim and myself, sitting. We get on the airplane. We're in business class. The lights go out. And they got the popcorn just about eaten up. And, excuse me, got kids. And the lights go out, and all of a sudden, about 30 minutes later, I smell this funny smell. And I see the popcorn bag and the guy next to him, and they got a little pipe, and he's smoking crack on the airplane. Unbelievable. I could not believe that the Sheik, and that's why he sputters the filth out of his mouth that he does today, because he's warped, he's burnt.
I love so much of that sound. First of all, that he was interrupted by his kids while telling the story about the Iron Sheik smoking crack, and also protecting the reputation of the dead guy's family who was with the Sheik, because nobody needs to protect the Sheik's family and his reputation. We got to protect the dead guys. Speaking of sound,
the white crayon has to go. I never used the white crayon. When you were growing up, did you ever use the white crayon?
Not very much. No.
Right, because you were usually coloring on white paper and therefore never had a need for the white crayon. I think the white crayon is the crayon to go.
What are some other options there? Give me some other options there. people are going to start making race jokes. I don't know in 2017 if you can eliminate the white. You sure as hell can't eliminate the black. You better not eliminate the black. You better be careful eliminating the white. I think you don't offend anybody if you just eliminate periwinkle blue or one of those rogue colors.
It's not an option. There is no periwinkle blue.
Well, what is
red, yellow, blue, brown, orange, green, violet, black, carnation, pink, yellow, orange, blue, green, red, violet, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, white, violet, red, dandelion, crulin, apricot, scarlet, green.
Was that a question?
Yeah, I was asking if I was pronouncing it correctly.
Right, there was a crayon named after a question in there.
Apricot, scarlet, green, yellow, indigo, and gray.
There are a lot that are going to be eliminated before white gets eliminated. White's a primary color. You can't eliminate any of the primaries. Let's play some sound here of the President of the United States. This felt like something out of Modern Family. I'm going to set the scene for you here, okay? Donald Trump is at a table with a bunch of other people. And when he's done talking, he slaps the guy next to him and then gives him the floor to talk. And that guy introduces himself. This is uproariously funny. And I'm telling you, if Modern Family wrote it, I would be like, wow, that's funny as fiction written by comedy writers. Listen to this.
All this live television, it's always live for me. Unfortunately, other guys say, make the speech, nobody cares. With me, everything's live. One mistake, and it's no good. But we just can't make mistakes, right? So we don't make mistakes. Go ahead, Ken.
Chuck Canterbury, the national president, fraternal order of
it's
police from South
unbelievable.
Carolina.
It's unbelievable. So we just can't make mistakes. Go ahead, Ken. And the guy introduces himself as Chuck. Like that is comedically perfect. The notes on that, if I had written it, it would have had more fat on it. If anyone had written it, it would have had more fat on it than how it played out in real life. Play that sound again, please. Oh, my God, that's so good.
All this live television, it's always live for me. Unfortunately, other guys say, make the speech, nobody cares. With me, everything's live. One mistake, and it's no good. But we just can't make mistakes, right? So we don't make mistakes. Go ahead, Ken.
Chuck Canterbury, the national president, fraternal order of police from South Carolina.
That's amazing.
Many of you are writing in that white is not a primary color.
Confirmed.
Okay, so what are the primary colors? Red, blue, what are the primary colors?
Red, green, blue, magenta?
What? Magenta's not one of the primary colors. You owe $5 from reading the internet wrong. There's no way magenta is one of the primary colors. Guillermo, put on the poll there. Did you think white was one of the primary colors? I don't know. How many primary colors are there? I don't know. 3? There are 3 primary colors? Okay, I thought there were like 8 primary colors. So that's my bad.
I think the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, and then secondary are like orange, purple, and green because they're like a mix of the primary colors.
So white doesn't even get secondary. So what's after secondary in terms of the colors?
I would assume tertiary colors are after secondary, right?
Well, we can agree that white, what did you just do there? Like, bad enough that I think white is a primary color, which is pretty stupid. But you just put magenta as one of the primary colors? What are you reading?
I read the secondary colors for red, green, and blue.
Anyway, in keeping with the segment that I like to call sound, here is Guillermo with some epic sound. We like to make fun of city council meetings and people who trash city council meetings. So here is some sound from that. Go ahead and give him his open.
Time now for Guillermo's epic sound of the day. It is going to be epic.
Hey, guys.
What are you mad about?
I mean, every time I do an epic sound now, we give you a little information. You ruin it for everyone.
Okay. You're just still mad because it cost you $2 that you were the terrible angel of crap.
Anyway, today's epic sound, as Dan so rudely said already, is from a city council meeting in San Clemente City Council meeting.
Rattled.
The guy... people are starting to realize that you can just go to these city council meetings and do whatever you want, and there's really no control. So this guy introduces himself as Chad Kroeger, which is the name of the lead singer of Nickelback, but this is clearly not him, and this is someone having fun with them.
Okay.
What up, Council? My name is Chad Kroeger. I stand before you here today in the midst of gnarly times. I'm a freelance journalist, and after interviewing hundreds of people, I've witnessed firsthand the ever-growing divide between Americans, and families torn apart over political differences. It's in times like these we need a unifying figure we can all turn to, a beacon of headlights that can guide us down the dusty road. I was 11 years old when my first love, Ashley, betrayed me by moving to Newport Beach. I felt lost, alone, bummed. And it was in that melancholy that my dad took me to see The Fast and the Furious, where for an hour and 47 minutes I transcended my worries because I had just met my new hero, Paul Walker. I think the most inspiring thing was the fact that even after Dominic Toretto beat him in that first race, Paul still managed to bed his sister. Pretty inspiring. Paul's on-screen legacy was unfortunately cut short, but that does not mean his impact on society must be cut short as well. Detroit has the RoboCop. Philly has Rocky. We need Paul Walker. That is why I'm proposing that the city erect a 12-foot-tall steel statue of Paul Walker on the pier. So I'm just going to ask you guys straight up, how can we get started? When can we break ground?
Does Paul Walker have any tie whatsoever to our city in any regard?
He went to high school here.
All right.
Yeah.
His cousin went to high school here.
Oh, his cousin did?
His cousin. I'm a big fan of Paul Walker, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But no.
Don Batard.
Texture writes in, spectacular interview with Lame Kiffin, you flabby jerk. Did you forget to ask him why nobody can stand to be around him for more than a couple of weeks, you chunky baby boy?
Is that
You got me, Texture. You called me a flabby jerk, and then you came over the top and you ran up the score with chunky baby boy.
Stugotz.
What is this voice and face?
No, I'm defeated because I had retorts and I could use the vocabulary to lash back, but instead I'm just defeated.
You look like a chunky baby boy.
Yes.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Get in touch with the show anytime to the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed at Lebitard Show at Stugotz790. Dan, it's time for Straight Talk. It's presented by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, half the cost.
Guy writes in, catalytic converters are between the header and the resonator or muffler, usually not too far away from the O2 sensor. All right, man. Like, you might as well have typed that in Mandarin. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I hate that guy.
I know muffler. And I don't even know what the muffler does. It converts.
It muffles.
All right, good enough.
I think he made everything up in that text, but he said it with conviction,
Right.
so he scared us.
Well, and there's this guy here. And this guy is making an appearance all over today. Just hammering me. Lebitard, you moron. White is not a primary color. Those are red, yellow, and blue. Moron! Then he capitalizes it. Moron! Then another guy writes in, I lost respect for Dan when he thought white was a primary color. That's some first grade-ish, bruh.
That's the thing?
That's the thing. I had all this respect, and then I lost it. Can I have a portion of it back? What do I have to do to get a portion of your respect? It's one of my favorite things in sports. I lost all respect for so-and-so. I lost a little bit of respect for so-and-so. So-and-so did this thing, and I'm not going to take all my respect, but a little bit I'm going to take it back. Take it back and put it right over here. He can't have it. But God forbid you do the thing that loses all that guy's respect, because then you're standing there naked with none of his respect that you didn't know you had. And you're white, not a primary color. Nude in front of all. It's one of my favorite insults. I lost 12% of my respect for you. I lost a little bit. What are the sayings? I lost all respect for. I lost a little bit of respect for. Those are the two choices. Is there a third choice?
Modicum.
I lost a modicum of respect. Why? That's also a little bit. It's near the catalytic converter and the O2 sensor.
Yeah.
So this is some basic stuff here, though. Around here, I think you guys would, for a know-it-all, it's surprising how little I know. I think that it would happen to any of you talking 4 hours a day for 15 years. just wandering all over the place, I think we'd find out that a lot of people don't know some very basic things. I don't know that I ever learned what the primary colors are. And it hasn't hurt me at all. Until now, when I'm hemorrhaging respect. Like, until this moment, I had never considered the idea of, man, if I'd known my primary colors, I could have just kept that guy's respect.
You wish you took that lesson more seriously?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I hadn't had my finger in my nose and was staring at that girl's Cheetos in first grade during primary colors being taught. But what is funny is my brother comes on here and we ask him sports questions, and we're like, who was the shortstop for the New York Yankees the last 20 years? And he's like, oh, I know this one. Eric Jeter, because he doesn't know anything about sports. I know just as little about art, obviously.
It'd be hilarious if he didn't know that white wasn't a primary color.
And now so many people are writing in that white is a shade. It's not a color.
Well, I thought white was the absence of color.
No, white's all the colors combined.
No, that's black.
No, I think it's white.
Is it white?
Yeah.
But what's the absence of color?
I'm on it.
God, I had a couple of jokes on the tip of my tongue there that would have gotten us all fired. It was right there, too, and I always want to go for the joke. Always want to go for the joke. And it'll be the end of us one day. That'll be truly the day that I lose everyone's respect. Like right now, I'm just bleeding respect. But that day when I make that joke, or whatever that joke is the day that ends us all. So what are we saying? We're saying that all the colors together become black?
It's confusing, Dan, because if you're doing it with your crayons, all the colors together would be black. But if you're doing it with like a light spectrum, all the colors together make white. Crayons are not representative of the light spectrum.
And I just Googled it, and black is apparently not a color. And not a color at all.
Black's not a color and white's not a color?
A black object absorbs all the colors of the visible spectrum.
All right, so wait a minute. We were talking about this because the crayons, Crayola on Friday morning is going to announce that one of its 24 crayons is leaving the box. But we're saying that two of the colors in the crayon box are not colors? We're saying that white and black are not even actually colors in the crayon box?
If Crayola drops the white crayon, do you think the Patriots will pick it up? That is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable networks.
Yeah! Don Le Batard.
This actually happened off air. It makes me want to punch Stugotz in the ear.
What?
Stugotz.
Mike Ryan asked me, do we want Dan Marley? And Stugotz's reflex response, just spit at me, was, Thunder Dan? And then he realizes in a rare moment of self-awareness just what a dope he is. And he says the next thing that comes out of his mouth is, I can't help myself. Like he's an addict.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. With their 119-108 win versus the L.A. Lakers, the Washington Wizards have clinched the Southeast Division. That ends the longest division title drought in NBA history at 37 years. It also ends the longest active division title drought in the four major pro sports. The United States women's national hockey team and USA Hockey have agreed to a new contract to avert the players' boycott of the IIHF World Championship that begins on Friday. The deal addresses compensation and the treatment of its girls and women's programs. And finally, an 11-pound blunt washed up on Daytona Beach last weekend. In related news, Joakim Noah is set to serve his second game of a 20-game suspension tonight against the Heat.
An unrelated note and a related note. Okay.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
So Russell Wilson has put this on his Twitter account, @DangeRussWilson. He's put up a video of himself training, boxing, lifting. It's a music video. He tweets, box, lift, throw, repeat, #DangerTrain, #no time to sleep. And what I want to pose to you as a question is, do you realize how hard it is to have his incredibly fun playing style, to be hashtag Danger Train, to be married to a famous beauty, and to still be corny? You know how hard that is to pull off? And to be a champion quarterback on top of that.
Yeah.
To be a champion quarterback, married to a famous beauty, hashtag Danger Train, a music video, and that playing style, which is totally electric.
Yes.
And, man, he's corny.
He really is. It's funny, man.
Well, it's weird. Help me understand this, because I think he behaves in the way, and I don't think it's insincere either. I think he behaves in the way that he imagines we want our athletes to be.
I think he does. Yeah.
And I don't think he's faking it.
No, I think it's genuine.
I don't think it's like you. Some people think that J.J. Watt is faking it.
Don't think he's faking it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, but Russell Wilson, I think it's sincere. So what's happening there? Someone help me untangle this one. If you're a champion quarterback with an electric playing style, married to a beauty, a famous beauty, and you're the Danger Train. Like, if I give, that's a great nickname.
You should be cooler.
That's a great nickname. The Danger Train with that playing style?
It's awesome. But I don't take it seriously when it comes to Russell Wilson.
But why? What is it? What is it that he's corny? Is it no sex? Like, what is it about Russell Wilson that makes you think he's lame?
It's just a little nerdy, I think. You know? I don't know. I mean, Tom Brady, I think, is a little bit corny, too. Is he not?
I mean, maybe.
He's just so handsome.
Well, but wait a minute. This is what I would say. Having spent some time around famous people who are considered cool, that they all have a little dork in them. And we all have a little dork in us. But Russell Wilson's got enough dork in him for even we the dorks to be like, man, you're a dork. Right? Like, I'm not in the business of telling anybody how to be cool. I don't know anything about how to be cool. But this is like pornography. I know it. I know corny when I see it. I'm not alone on this with Russell Wilson, right? Or maybe I am.
No. You are not alone on this with Russell Wilson at all.
Yeah, dude's lame.
Yeah, he's lame. He's just a little nerdy.
Well, but maybe, do old people love him? Do Seahawks fans love him?
Well, obviously.
But no. Well, you say obviously, but
Seahawks fans love
Mina
him.
Kimes loves Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
There's no way she doesn't.
Well, let's examine this one for a second. Is there such a thing? Can Colt fans admit that Peyton Manning is a little dorky? Can Giant fans admit that Eli Manning is a little dorky? Like, how does this happen? Does the guy who brings you the winning, or can you separate these things? Does the quarterback who brings you the winning, is he someone that the fan base that is made to feel good by that quarterback would ever be willing to separate and say, yeah, that guy's not cool?
Oh, I think there are Seahawks fans who think that he is dorky and not cool, but they also find those traits to be adorable with Russell Wilson. They do. He's their quarterback. He's our Super Bowl champion quarterback. And so they find those qualities of Russell Wilson. They could separate the two, but they find it adorable.
Well, let's examine this for a second, because I don't think that Tim Tebow was viewed this way. He was publicly flouting the virginity and the religion. That could be one that sometimes people are judgmental about. But I don't think that people thought that Tim Tebow was corny. They thought he was a little bit too pure, perhaps, some who did not like him. But plenty of people also adored Tim Tebow for being the things that he was.
Sure.
And in today's climate, it can be almost dangerous or brave to be publicly religious. So I don't think people look at Tim Tebow and say dork.
No, but physically, he's just so muscular, and he's got like the shaved head, and he's got like cool hairstyles. I don't think Russell Wilson has some of that stuff.
Cool hairstyle?
I'm not saying they're cool to me. I'm just saying they're cool to others. It doesn't come off as dorky.
He needed help with the hair game. He cleaned that up.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait a minute. This video that Russell Wilson put on Twitter would be a video that if I said champion quarterback, playing style, working out, boxing, this would be a cool video, but you know too much about Russell Wilson and his actual personality to have it be a cool video. Russell Wilson is basically incapable of being in a cool video by virtue of simply being all the things Russell Wilson is. Like, I could put Russell Wilson in a Migos video. It would not be cool, and then Migos would become less cool.
Way less cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a special level of not cool, man.
Yeah.
When you could just go in there and whoever you consider to be cool people, he hangs out with them and makes them less cool. You know how hard that is as a champion quarterback with that playing style.
Yeah. Don't lump Eli Manning into that group, though. Eli's the coolest. Like, he's sneaky cool. He's like a noted prankster. Do you know this trick that he does whenever someone asks for a selfie? Like, Kevin Nealon told this story once that he asked Eli Manning to take a picture of when Peyton was hosting, when Peyton came to a party. Hey, Kevin, it's like, can you take a picture of me with your brother? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, got it. And then Kevin tried to text somebody, and his phone was in Mandarin. That's his move. And if you ask Eli Manning for a selfie, he will change your settings to Mandarin. So cool.
Yeah, no, a lot of Giant fans are actually tweeting at us, and they are. And they're saying he's not dorky, Eli Manning. He's goofy. It's different. He doesn't take himself very seriously. And a lot of people are saying what Mike is saying. He's kind of undercover cool and funny.
Undercover funny, which makes you cool.
Eli Manning can't be cool because we had, during the Super Bowl here at the Versace Mansion, we had a party at midnight for Shaquille O'Neal, the radio station did down here in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone knows in Miami that you don't get anywhere till midnight. Eli Manning showed up at 9:30. He would have been the first one there, but Matt Leinart was already drunk in the whirlpool. And Eli Manning showed up, and we told Eli, you're 2.5 hours early.
Yeah.
And his entire body slumped as if he'd just lost the Super Bowl. Or just won the Super Bowl, because you can't tell the difference with his body language.
Exactly. I'm going to show you a picture right now of Russell Wilson, okay? And, I mean, this is why I think a lot of people consider him to be dorky. Do you see him?
Yeah, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt of some sort with white sneakers and jeans.
And the jeans are really blue.
Mm-hmm.
As blue jeans can be.
Okay, but his style is humble. This is legitimately confusing to me.
And he's got the hands in the pocket and a thumb is sticking out.
Yeah, this is legitimately confusing to me because usually by virtue of having all of the things that Russell Wilson is as a player, your personality almost can't dilute it. And yet his personality does. It's fair. I'm trying to think of other guys like this in the history of sports who have the playing style, who have the winning,
right?
Who have the cool position.
Right, because quarterbacks are usually cool. You're looking for the great athlete who's a bit dorky.
There's probably another element here. Can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's an important discussion for someone else to have.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to need to be more specific.
Well,
no, you're going to need to be more specific. I'll wait.
Am I going to need to be?
No, I don't want to be. Hey, these stats are not going to read themselves.
Your midweek growth is showing.
Andrew Luck's a dork.
Get rid of it by using the tools from the good folks at Dollar Shave Club. The playing style. I'm talking about playing style. Russell Wilson, you can make the argument, is the most electric quarterback in the entire league.
Luck's pretty electric, man.
No, is he?
He's not Russell Wilson electric, but he's pretty electric, man.
Is Andrew Luck electric? Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Andrew Luck electric?
It does look like he was electrocuted.
Don Batard.
I went to a 7-Eleven drunk wearing only socks.
Stugotz.
I've made a living off of things I think I heard.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Time for the GNC Spring Training Report. The Texas Rangers have agreed to a contract extension with second baseman Rougned Odor to the tune of 6 years. Man, I was thinking about it too much.
How did you
Rugned.
No, it wasn't. That's not the
Rugned.
one. That's not the one you got wrong. You got wrong the last name.
Odor. Because I was thinking about the first name too much.
It's amazing. We need to have, Mike, you need to figure out a way to film Stugotz during the break practicing these things that he gets wrong immediately after the break, because I think it'll make it even funnier when he botches these things, because he was practicing. He must have done Rugned Odor 10 times during the break.
Time for the GNC spring training report. The Texas Rangers have agreed to a contract extension with second baseman Ragnod Odor. Mother. Roy.
Roy, why are you blaming? Well, I mean, Roy does do that on purpose. Roy does throw that. Anyways, go ahead. One more time from the top.
Time for the GNC spring training report. The Texas Rangers have agreed to a contract extension with second baseman Rugned Odor.
Never mind.
Can't get both of them right.
Yeah, both at the same time. All right, just keep it moving.
To the tune of 6 years, worth $49.5 million, with an option for a seventh year. The Rangers also signed Robinson. Oh, jeez. I mean, Robinson Chirinos. They get that right? Robinson Chirinos. They give him a new contract extension through 2018. With a team option for 2019. The spring training report is brought to you by GNC. Buy more, save more, shred more. Select diet and cleanse products right now. Buy 2, save 20%. Buy 3, save 30%. Sale ends March 29th. Hashtag one new GNC. Rugned Odor.
There you go. A texter writes in, Russell Wilson isn't helped out by the fact that he's surrounded by some of the coolest guys in football. Marshawn Lynch when he was there, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Wagner, all badasses. Wilson not associated with being a badass. Well, his playing style might be more badass than any of them, Earl Thomas included. His playing style.
Yeah, it's a reckless style.
Not more than Lynch, though. Not more than Lynch.
Maybe not Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I have blasphemed against Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch's playing style, as chronicled expertly by, was it 60 Minutes? Was it 60 Minutes? I think it was 60 Minutes. It may have been Showtime. We'll credit it when we find it. But you're right, Mike. I need to walk that back. Russell Wilson's style cannot be quite as badass as Marshawn Lynch style as he articulated here.
If you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't going to be able to take that over and over and over and over and over again. They just not going to want that.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a face.
Yes, that's the deeper metaphor. At 60 Minutes Sports, you can make the argument, you really can, in a league that includes Ronnie Lott cutting off half his finger to keep playing, that Marshawn Lynch has the most badass resume in the entire sport, just for badassery.
You could easily make that argument.
I mean, just when you break 8 tackles on a run and go flying through the end zone holding your junk, that alone qualifies you for badass Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Just that one run. Never mind all the other stuff. Never mind this interview that all of us are nodding our heads in agreement with. Yes, of course, Marshawn Lynch speaks the truth.
If you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't going to be able to take that over and over and over and over and over again. They just not going to want that.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a face.
I love that sound so much.
I love him so much.
Would you believe that it is still trickling in, Stugotz? I can't believe this, that I'm still getting this on Wednesday after this happened. Was it Friday of last week that Devin Booker scored 70 points? And I'm still getting people who are writing me, telling me all of the ways that this is invalid, chief among them, that the Phoenix Suns are a losing basketball team. That all Devin Booker did by scoring 70 points was lose. The number of haters writing that in. This is what I hope for you. I hope for you, hater, that one day you come into a few $100s at work and you're really excited about it. and that someone like Devin Booker shows up and reminds you you're still broke. Like in the middle of your excitement. Hey, yeah, congratulations on a few $100s, but also you still have no money.
I mean, you don't have an ally here because I agree with the people texting you. So he didn't earn it, man. I mean, don't celebrate 70 when, 4 to 6 of those points were gifted to you. Celebrate 66.
4 to 6 of those points.
Yeah. At least 4.
4 to 6.
Celebrate 66 points. If you want. Go ahead and celebrate 64,
right.
but stop celebrating 70.
All right.
Man.
Okay.
Jeez.
4 of those
Give
6.
some of those points back.
Okay.
You might be in the record books for one of the guys who had scored 70 points, but I can tell you, in my own personal record book, you are not in it. Okay, Devin Booker?
Devin Booker. It sounds like Stugotz has lost a little bit of respect for you.
A modicum.
Yes, a modicum of respect has been lost that you will never get back, Devin Booker.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.